So, selamat datang everyone.
Habari yako?
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Welcome.
Annyeong.
Ciao. Me, the first time I moved to the US, it was really hard for me. I mean, I was mostly the shy type because I had never made friends who were international. I had always made friends who were Indians in general.
I guess it's always a challenge for people to come to this country, stay and root themselves, and grow outside of their comfort zone.
When I first came, during my orientation, first they were just international kids because it was an international orientation, and I found it not too easy to make friends because everyone was new to the country and everyone wanted to keep to themselves, and people tended to stick to their certain culture and group.
The longer time that you stay with your group, and the most likely that you will be insulated.
It's all about breaking that first bubble. Like, you know, if you have that personal bubble, your comfort zone, the only way for you to go out of that is just to go out of it. There's no way around it.
I think it required a bit of patience and just letting things develop organically. Don't try and force that adjustment. Let it go smoothly. And adjustment takes time, and it's a natural process to sometimes feel a bit left out or, you know, detached from things that people like. But that's fine because we have our own different socializations from where we come from.
Over here, the people are really, really friendly. What you really need to do is just go outside, go and talk to anyone. Just go and talk to your neighbor or to your roommate. Because once you move into the dorms, you will feel really, really alone. And a lot of people get really homesick around here.
If you're leaving the residence hall, I think you should join the floor's activity, because every floor there's a mentor, and the mentor will always make a weekly activity for the residents on that floor. And I think if you join all the activities, and you can make good friends with the Americans. That's the easiest way.
This first year in my hall, I had some Americans in my floor, but I never really talked with them. But at the end, I started to talk with them, and then I realized like how they were cool, like they were really kind, friendly, and cool. So, like, I guess I missed out.
I think that's really important to do things together. Then you will be friends with them. You share things with them, and they can understand your culture. Maybe if you get to talk to.
I used to join clubs. There are so many clubs in MSU. You can join clubs. There is also a Indian Student Association, Muslim Student Association. There are so many. Then there's the rugby club. Then there's the cricket club. There are so many other clubs out there. So these are the ways you can make friends. Just go to the clubs. Say you want to join up. Common interest. I mean, if you like to play cricket, go and join the cricket club. It's a common interest. People like that, you make tons of friends. People with similarities to you will be very friendly to you. As long as you see you have something in common with someone, don't be afraid to go talk to them, meet them in class. If you sit next to the same person all the time and you need help, all you have to do is ask them for help, and next thing you know, you and that person are friends, and you'll be hanging out outside of class, doing homework together. When I moved to Michigan, it was really, really hard for me to adapt because of the weather.
Over the summer, it's going to be really, really hot. At the end of the year, it's going to be really, really cold, and that's when I struggled with having the awareness towards weather.
I was really enjoying myself because that was the first time I've ever seen snow. And I was jumping around. I didn't wear proper clothing. And it was really hard for me to adapt to this place.
In winter in my country, for us, like the coldest you can get is maybe 0 degrees Celsius, which is like really cold for us. So coming here and being at -18 it was something different.
So that's pretty much an awareness that I think international students, especially those who come from the tropical areas or the equator, should pay attention to at least.
Buy yourself some really warm clothes.
When you're in a lecture in which there will be at least 200 students or 100 students, I think international students can get easily overwhelmed by the number of students in there. And what's more fascinating is that Americans, they're not afraid of asking questions, and this is what I think is something that should be highlighted, in which international students should instill the habit of asking questions wherever you are, in whatever circumstance.
I realized from my first year that I should not have necessarily rushed into forming friends, but let the friendships form organically. That is, don't feel pressured to go to events and stuff that you are not necessarily interested in, because those kinds of friendships don't last long.
East Lansing in general is a really safe place, and you can just go out to people on the street and go talk to them, say hi. You get onto the bus, you can just start a conversation with the bus driver, and they're really friendly. They're people, they don't mind. They won't say, stop talking to me. They aren't that kind of rude people.
Another thing is to work with them. I think that's another way to adapt. You have to be with them. You have to be you can join clubs if you want. If you're not living in the dorms, you can join the club, or you can work with them. That's how you're going to communicate and adapt with the environment.
Most of my current native friends I made through the work on group studies and like social activities.
Join students' organizations, and especially going on a trip with them, and because I think during a trip, people can actually get to know each other more.
Go to the coffee hour, go to the other activities that OISS has to provide.
And also, if you play sports, get involved with sports, IM sports or whatever, and try to make like a soccer team, I don't know what, with Americans and all of that. That's also a good way to interact with them.
Say hello to American first, because American people don't really know your culture or your background, so they are afraid of what you think if they say hello to you first.
I think the first and most important tip I would say is to not be scared of them.
Do not embarrass when they talk to you. Like, some people just come up to you and say, hey, how are you, you know?
I think the biggest tip would be let your friendships develop organically. Don't be in a hurry. Meet people one at a time, and don't feel the pressure to make too many friends, because you want to form even few but lasting friendships, and friendships that are valuable. And also remember that, wherever you come from, you have friends already. So you're not desperate in a sense. You have family. You have already a support system, and try and keep in touch with those friends that you have left too, even as you transition into new friendships, because that will help you make good and solid friendships in America.
Any international student, when you come up here, you have to come ready to accept new stuff, because it's obviously not just culture-wise, but since we're entering a new age in our life, we're becoming adults, you have to get ready to try new stuff and make new friends, meet new people, and just enjoy yourself up here.